When it comes to Weaver, give me your quick, like 15, 20-second intro on why people should be excited that he's on their team.
Well, first off, you start with his film and his high-level production. This is a guy that's proven that he can get to the quarterback. We know that in the NFL it is a passing league, so you better have somebody that knows how to find the QB, and this is what this guy does. He's a man that's helped himself over time. He's worked on his skill set and his craft, and I think that shows up when you watch the tape on him.
You see it right above me. Sack master, 13 and a half sacks, 18 and a half tackles for loss. Curtis Weaver is crazy productive, C-Mart. We're going to get into this tape in a little bit here. But when it comes to production, I love the way that he got that production. And we're going to show people a couple of the different ways, starting with that speed.
Well, you know, that's the interesting thing when you watch this kid is his speed and first step quickness jumps off. You can see it right here. He gets up on the offensive tackle so fast, the offensive tackle can't even extend his arms. And this is a move that as you watch this kid that he loves to go to. It's the first step quickness. It's the ability to contort his body. And then you see the old hula hoop drill that they like to do at the combine where you circle around, you bend, and you come back underneath to make the sack. That's exactly what he does here. That's an excellent play by Weaver.
Yeah, he's running drill tape. I love the little dip right there to get underneath the taller offensive lineman, make himself a little smaller, make himself a little more flexible to get underneath there. And I think that that's really special when you watch him. And this is a guy that can rush from stand up. He can rush from hand down. We're going to see him here again, standing up. Similar move. The way he swipes those hands down to get off of him, I love to watch a guy play with that sort of, that ability, recognizing I can't let him put hands on me so I can get to the quarterback.
And he collapses the shoulder of the tackle right there. He gets that outside shoulder collapsed, and it's because of the speed that he uses, as you alluded to, Michael, coming off that edge in his hands. You can tell he has heavy hands because he's able to get those tackles turned very quickly. This is a guy that's 6'0", 3'0", 265, and this is what I love here on this play. Now you're starting to see a guy that's probably a 3-4 outside backer, and so you want to see that length as he comes around, and he's able to get the quarterback here on another sack, but look at the strength in the hands to just snatch him to the ground.
Yeah, and we're going to get to the power in a little bit, but I wanted to keep talking speed. And when you watch this, just the way he's able to do it, he's able to just get off the ball. The one-hand tackle that we saw right there, we get that grab where he wants to finish the play. And a couple of these last three plays, right, we saw him scoop and try to score. We saw him make sure he got that guy down on the ground. We see him grabbing the quarterback's leg. I love the energy of him because he wants to make the play. After he's made a good initial play, he wants to continue to make that play.
And if we're drinking the truth serum, here's the issue when you look at this, is you question the quality of the offensive tackle. So now you got to project on this kid and say, can he do this against an offensive tackle from Ohio State? Can he do this against an offensive tackle from Alabama? You can see the production, the first step quickness. We saw it there with the speed because the tackle's got to get back and set so quickly for him. But you just wonder, is the athlete there? We see the speed. Is the athlete there? And I think that's kind of the question mark on him, but a tremendous player. And again, a guy who's got a complete body of work.
Yeah, I think he's got a complete body of work. And speaking of body, the thing for me looking at him is he makes quarterbacks feel that body. He makes quarterbacks feel it. I love when he gets into it and absolutely delivers the blow to the quarterback to make sure they know I'm going to be here all day. All right, Seymour, yeah, we talked about him making quarterbacks feel it. I love this next group of plays that we have here. One, I want to see power out of my players, right? Not just speed. So look at the power he has against this offensive tackle to push through him to get to the quarterback.
And the first thing that you notice right off the rip is the way his alignment's slightly different in his rush. Look at his legs. They're not staggered back as much as they were when he was getting out there isolated. So it tells me that he's coming with the power rush. He rocks the tackle back. He's able to get through the double team and disengage and get to the quarterback. And that shows you that upper body strength. I alluded to it earlier, talking about the hand strength. You can see the power now. You can see the ability to disengage. You can see the strength just to run through. He barely even feels the tackle, and he's able to close at the quarterback, which he did 34 times over the last 3 seasons.
Yeah, and then he just puts him down on the ground. And then here, why do this? Why? Like, can we just get on that? Because I love the hit on Blackman, but why with a tight end?
Why with a tight end, and why with a tight end who just drops his head? I mean, this is absolutely poor by Florida State and probably indicative of all the issues they had there in Tallahassee. But this is an inside move, good side swipe, which is what he does. the one thing he wants to go to is that side swipe. He loves that move. He needs to work on a little bit of a counter, but that's so effective to him, so he doesn't want to complicate success. It worked for him over and over.
Yeah, you're getting ahead of me because we're gonna get to a little bit of a mini counter, but I love this here. Talk about why avoiding the cut is so many guys struggle with it and they don't get their hands down and then they get that leg taken out and then they're out of the play. But he's able to keep his legs in it and go hit this quarterback.
You know what's interesting, Michael, is that he's not a phenomenal athlete, but this is a super athletic play because, as you mentioned,
Yes.
the ability to feel the cut block coming, and you saw him, he pushed down the head of the running back to clear his feet. And once you clear the feet, now he can show you the burst to get to the quarterback, to just dial him up and get him to the ground. And so I think this is a play that the defensive coordinators will look at over and over because it's going to give you a little bit of a baseline and a measuring stick that, hey, this guy may not be overly twitchy, but he is more athletic than you think and probably than he gets credit for. And he does have that innate ability to get to the quarterback. So even if you look at him as a DPR, a designated pass rusher, he's going to bring a guy that you bring in on obvious passing downs, and he knows how to finish at the quarterback.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me a little bit of a guy like Derek Barnett who came out of Tennessee. Well, Barnett's a little bit more hands down, but both guys were able to not test as high as some of their counterparts, but because they know how to play football, they're able to maximize that athleticism and consistently get out there and make plays. All right, C-Mart, we talked about danced around the athleticism, danced around the counter move. Let's get into both of those. Let's start with the counter move. And for me, we know he's a speed rusher that wants to run the hump. So when I was able to see him do this, that gave me a little bit of hope that, hey, this guy can pick up something else.
Yeah, I'm pretty fired up actually watching this because we saw him quite a bit just use the first step quickness, and then you automatically wonder, does he have pass rush variety, which isn't, atypical of a guy coming out of college, but it's nice to be able to see him to go to a counter move here. Here he just sets the offensive lineman up. He gets him off balance, leaning because he's worried about him, coming around that edge with the speed. This guy proved to me he's a technician. He wants to set you up during the course of the game. So you notice on a play like this, which is late in the game, now he's like, I got the tackle where I want him. Now I can come back around on him on my counter move and fold and get to the quarterback. This is outstanding detail in his game, and I love to see this.
The thing I love is watching his left arm. The way he flings that left arm there, that elbow to clear that tackle. I love that. And then we talked a little bit about athleticism. We're going to see another play with a cut block. And there's two things I want people to focus in on this play. We're going to get to the interception and the athleticism. But the first thing I want to see, hand jam down the block, right? Jam down that block. Mm-hmm. Now look, the big thing I see before he leaps is that he not only gets eyes on the guard, he gets eyes on the quarterback. And he's coming up with another move to give to that guard, to get to the quarterback, but then recognizes the quarterback's about to throw that football.
Yeah, outstanding observation. And I think there's a bunch of things to notice on this play. Number one, he's coming from the defense's right side. And if you watch, most times they have a propensity to bring him off the left side from the defense. So he's working the other side here. And as you indicated, he fights off the cut block so well with his hands, but then also the anticipation to shoot the hands up, know you're going to get a flat line, low ball type throw. And then lastly, to finish, to find the ball, get a key interception. This guy played both ways in high school, and you can see it here just in terms of the ball skills. That's a super athletic play. Again, one of the heavy concerns was this guy, how's his build? Is he athletic? And I think he shows you all of that in this single play.
Yeah, I really love that because it's those little subtle movements that indicate body control. And we have seen it now. We've watched a couple tapes of him, right? We've seen him scoop and score. We've on a play that was dead, but he still wanted to finish. We've seen him double tackle the quarterback because he wasn't sure if he got him down on the ground, so he wanted to finish. We saw him here bat the ball down, then eyes up, look around to make sure he can try to make that interception. He's a finisher, and I think that's part of the culture of Boise State, but I also think it's indicative of him as a player, and I think that's the big thing that folks should know now that he's on their NFL team.